All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about how to stop being greedy, how to overcome greed in trading. Okay, so say you're making money, right? Or say you sell something. Let's say you bought GBP right here, and then you sold, you made your money. Oh, that's all fine and dandy, right? This thing just fucking rips up and it goes ballistic. It goes ballistic. It keeps ramping up, and you're like, oh, damn it, I should have sold. And you start doing, I should have held, and you start doing the math on how much money you would have made, and then you said, oh, damn it, I could have made this much, could have made that much, right? And you start getting, again, that's that greed talking. And a lot of you face this issue, or maybe you make money and you just keep trading, like, and you know you shouldn't, like, say your rules say you need to be done, but then you go back into the market, you trade again, you trade again, you trade again, you trade again, and you just, that greed is eating at you, and you just got to make more trades, right? How do you overcome this? So here's a few things. Number one is coming to a realization. So when you do this, understand that it's purely a hindsight issue. And you see that in hindsight, and that's what triggers that greed to, because here's the deal. Whenever you, like, let's say you bought, right, and then you sold right here. It ripped up, as we were just talking about. But let's say you did that and this thing dumped, which it could very well could have. So let's say it just dumped, took out the lows, and, well, guess what? We ain't having this damn conversation then, are we? We're not. You know what you would be saying then? Like, let's say you sold and you like timed it perfectly and then it dumped. You'd be like, man, I'm glad I stuck to my plan. I'm glad I didn't get greedy. I'm proud of myself. I executed like I should have executed. We ain't having that damn conversation no more, are we? No, it's a completely different conversation. You only have this conversation when something, may I remind you, outside of your plan happens. All that shit that happens outside of when you sell is noise. Let me say that again. It is fucking noise. Okay? You didn't know that was going to happen. That's outside of your data, which is going to go into here in a moment. Everything that happened outside of where you sold is outside of your data. You didn't know, you don't have the data to support that. So why the fuck are you getting worked up over it? Why the fuck are you getting worked up over it? Because if it dumped, we ain't having this conversation. It's, oh, I'm glad I stuck to my plan. I'm glad I'm stuck to my plan that had the data supporting me. That's what's happening here, guys. You're just getting overclouded with this greed due to hindsight. Okay? You got to trust your fucking data. You got to trust the data, because that is always, the plan is always the correct, it's always the correct course of attack, right? Anything outside of it, anything outside of the plan is just noise. You're never going to catch the exact top. You're never going to catch the exact bottom. That's just part of it. And you don't need to. All right, I'll take profits plenty of the time, and then I see the damn thing just rip, just go crazy, and I never get worked up over it. That's not something that I struggle with, because I have this realization that I just told you. I understand that that's outside of my plan, and it's just noise. Okay, I deal with what I have my data supporting me. Okay, and then that goes, as I was saying, it goes to the next thing. If you don't have that data, well, then that's an issue. And I see a lot of these people that have this issue, they don't have data. Is that everybody? No, but the vast majority of them that come to me with this, okay, how do I stop being greedy? They don't have data. They don't have the data. They don't have anything to support them that tells them, okay, you need to be content. All right, because all that stuff is happening. It's outside of your plan. You don't have any data to support that. So that's how you know it's just greed talking. That's how you just, absolutely, that's just greed just pulling at you. Now, don't mistake this, because some people come to me with the question, is this over trading? Like, let's say someone comes to me like, okay, I'm taking 10 trades in a day. That seems like a lot. Is that over trading? Is that being greedy? Well, not really. I mean, if it's in your plan and your strategy, right? Your strategy tells you that that's okay. If your setup presents itself and you're just executing your setup, that's not really greed. That's just you're executing your plan. Some, like, there's a such thing as some systems are just more active, scalping type of systems that give more trading scenarios, right? Or they just give more trading setups. You might take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades in a day on some systems. And other systems might just be one. Other systems might be just a couple a week, right? It depends on the system. So just because you take a lot of trades also, that doesn't really mean you're greedy. That just means you're executing your system. If you're just seeing a setup, you're executing, boom. There's no really greed attached. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just playing but if you're taking stuff outside of it, Okay, if it's a setup that doesn't match your plan, that's completely outside of your system, then yeah, that's an issue. That's absolutely an issue. And again, this is how you deal with it. So you got to come to that realization. You got to really grasp that. And if you need to, write it down in front of you. Write down what I just told you. Keep it in front of you during the day, and refer back to it. Like whenever you see something, that's kind of ripping up, and you're kind of feeling that greed pop in, you'll have that reminder. Okay, you need to become mindful. How to become mindful? Well, journaling, meditation, all that's very useful. And then you need to refer back to what I just told you, because that's what it really comes down. Because you're still gonna have, like, the thing is, you're still gonna have that impulse. You're still gonna have that urge, right? It's gonna creep in because you're not a robot. Like like we all have, like we have the same emotions, right? And you're not gonna get rid of that completely because you're not a robot. So it's still gonna happen. So you got to be realistic about how you approach this, because you're still gonna you're gonna see something that's gonna rip up still, even after you watch this video. You're gonna see something that's gonna rip up. You're gonna start to feel that greed pop in. It's gonna start to creep in. But if you become mindful of when that is occurring, you become mindful of that emotion when it's creeping in, when it's trying to take over. That's where you take back control. And that's the thing. Like, people see me and they believe that I'm some robot, right? That I just execute perfectly. That I don't feel I'm just a fucking execution machine, robot, no emotion whatsoever. I got the same emotions that you do. The only difference is I control them. I don't let them make the decisions. I make the fucking decisions. I understand that the plan is the correct route of attack. So I'll feel that emotion, that emotion creep in. Even though, like, I don't really, it's there, but it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as vivid. It's not as strong as it used to be, like when I was a beginner, right? But it's still there. And what I'll do is I'll become mindful when it's happening. I understand it. I understand, what's triggering it. And then I redirect my focus and I remind myself what's important. My plan is important. My data is important. Like, all that stuff outside of the plan, you have no data to support it. All right. So why are you getting caught up on it? It makes no sense, right? So you just got to remind yourself of that. And then you got to redirect the focus back to your plan, back to your data, back to the realization that I just laid out for you. And that's how you got to approach it. There's no, magic fix, right? Which is what a lot of people want. But that's what you got to do. That's what it's all about.